My name is Perry and I live in a little cottage in North Wales. After living 10.5 years on the narrowboat, I create lampshades, weave and do lots of other crafts, and I have a gorgeous transit van that I converted into a camper called Tilly Teacup, and I often go on travels with her, and this is my life in a teacup. Morning peeps! Kettle's boiling. Hold on a second while I make my cup of tea. So, how is everybody? I hope you're all well. Hang on a second while I concentrate on this, otherwise I'll be spilling water all over the place. Well, it has been sort of an interesting couple of weeks. Hold on a second, I'm just getting some milk out of my fridge. And, before we start, look, I'm being all professional. I don't know if it's going to make a blind bit of difference to the sound. I mean, you guys can tell me that, but part of what's happened in a couple of weeks ago since my last vlog, as some of you may know, because you have kindly and wonderfully ordered stuff from me, which is great, thank you. I run a little business making lots of different things, and I employed, don't say employed, that's the wrong word really. Well, I suppose I did, I'm paying her. There's a digital creator, I think that's what you'd call it, because whilst I can do the content on my Instagram and my Facebook, you know, it's sort of getting it out there, you know, and I wanted to know whether there was a magic button or not, you know, to sort of get my posts and reels and stories and everything out into the ether and get more followers so that I get more business. And so one of the suggestions, I mean, she's made some suggestions and I put them into place, and within a couple of days I had a couple of emails ordering a place at my workshops, which I was really, really pleased about. So I think it's beginning to work, and I know that it's the more I've got to post every single day. Well, you know what I'm like, I do these every 2 weeks, and that's something else I want to say as well. I've had a couple of people, well, more than a couple, but I've also, you know, someone only a couple of days ago said that my vlogs were few and far between lately, and how was I okay, which was very, very kind. Hi Ron. It was very kind of them to ask me, but I only do it every 2 weeks, so I feel that I've got something to say. I mean, yeah, I could come on every week and babble a load of rubbish like I usually do, but I don't want it to be boring. You know what I mean? I want it to be interesting, and every 2 weeks seems to be okay at the moment. But I have had people even private message me and say, please, can you do more vlogs? But maybe I'll think about it in the new year. I don't know. Anyway, getting back to the content creator. So she decided that one of the things I needed was I had a professional microphone. So good old online shopping. So I've ordered this. So whether it makes any difference or not, I honestly don't know, but I hope it does. You can let me know. Cheers. Right, let's take you into the lounge. I'll be with you in a sec. Okay, let's go in. Shut the door, got my cup of tea. I don't really need that going, it's not that cold, but I just decided when I got up this morning just to put a bit of wood on. Oh, look at this, you see, more on the loom. That's a different one than you saw last time. So when I finish this vlog and uploaded it, I will definitely crack on with that. So I'm trying to maneuver you guys here through to my desk. Hold on a sec and relax. I'm sat at my desk now. So now where do we start? Let's start with the last vlog. I think I'd mentioned that my friend June was coming, and we both liked Keith Brymer-Jones. And some of you from Australia, from America, know the program that I was talking about that we have in here in the UK, which I thought was brilliant that you knew about it. So we went to see the creator and potter, Keith Brymer-Jones. We didn't go to see him, but we went to see the chapel that he's converted. So, I mean, it's not that interesting, you know, if you don't, the chapel's called Salem Chapel, funny enough, which I think is quite funny. But it's such an incredible building, and my photography is not great. And because I know they live there, I didn't want to be sort of stood outside taking lots of photographs, because I don't think it's right. I know they expect, because the program's very popular in this country, and he's very popular because he keeps crying and he's lovely. you know, I just didn't want to do that. So all the picture that we'll put alongside here, my little montage that I usually do at the end, there's the journey through, because the colours of the trees were really pretty. So that will go, you know, all the oranges and the golds and the rust and everything, because we're autumn. So that will go alongside this. And some pictures of the chapel. Now, when you see the front of the chapel, he hasn't done the main body where all the people used to congregate and, you know, do their worshipping and everything. What he's done is the back end of it, which is where they live. Now, we did pass it, and if you ever get to the opportunity to see our Welsh chapel, I think that's what it's called. The journey of how him and his partner Marge did that is wonderful, and I love their decor taste. I love their interior design. It's really quirky, and I love it. But that's sort of at the back of the chapel, and there's a side road. So we did walk up, but when we got to where they actually live, we turned around and walked away again. There was a couple of people there looking in their back garden and everything, and they've put a very polite sign, which I'll put alongside as well, so you can read it, just to say that they won't be out to talk to people, you know, because it's them, and for us to remember that the chapel is also their home. The front part of the building is still in need of the renovation, which they're actually doing now, and I know in some point in the future there'll be a program showing the progress. So we did that. And we went to, I'll say where it is now, because if anybody watches a program, they'll know. It's a place called Pwllheli, Pwllhi, I think it's spelt. Sorry, Welsh people, if I've spelt it wrong, but I think I've said it right. Pwllheli, is that right? Yeah, Pwllheli. So, yeah, so that was quite an interesting day. The only thing is, it poured with rain all day long. So my poor friend had come up to visit, and it was pouring down rain, but we had a lovely time. So that was that. That was sort of a couple of weeks ago, and then, as you know, I've got such a busy time now. I have this Saturday coming. Today is Sunday, so this Saturday coming, the 22nd of November, I've got my first lampshade workshop. I've now got 7 people on the workshop, and I'm really excited about that. So that's going to be great. And then on the 5th of December, I've got the second lampshade workshop, and then on the 6th and 7th of December, I've got my artisan fair, which I'm making throws and wraps and things for, that I've shown. Look what I've made so far. Oh, look at this array of colours. Aren't they wonderful? I think is that my favourite? So I've done that one. That one's quite nice as well. Like, so colours in that one. And I've done that one. And so all those lovely colours there. That one I think might be my favourite, because it's duck egg blue and green and purple, and those are my 3 favourite colours really. So I'm looking forward to seeing that one finished. And in the meantime, I've had another subscriber message me privately and say, you know, would I make a lap blanket for them, which I'm looking forward to doing in amongst everything else. But that's great. I mean, luckily she doesn't need it for Christmas, but I will get it to her for Christmas. So you know who you are. Thank you very much. I don't like to say names, you know, because it's sort of private. What else? Oh, and I've made loads of candles. I've got, how many? I wanted to make about 30 or 40, and I've only got about 12 left to make. So I'm almost there, and I'll do those this week. I've got my resin jewellery to do. I've got resin decorations to do, and this has all got to be done by the 6th of. Oh, and in between that, I'm going to travel up to Nottingham to see my friend Kath and my Auntie Bernie. Hi, both. Because I've got a lot of stuff that's stored in Kath's garage from when I moved from the boat to the house. Because whilst storage was, you know, minimum on the boat, it's not great here. I mean, it's fine. I've got, you know, there's all under the eaves, as you know, and I've got a cupboard down here in the lounge and everything, and a little sort of cupboard over there. So, but I do have a lot more crap. So I'm going to go to, we call them car boot sales. I don't know what they're called in America, because they're normally held in a field and you literally sell out of the back of your car. It is what it says. But there's a place up in Nottingham somewhere, that you can actually do it inside. Now, you don't take your car. You basically have a table like you would in a, you know, jumble sale or an artisan fair or something like that. You know, those sort of 6-foot trestle tables and chairs you sit behind. And I'm going to do that just to try and get rid of some of this stuff, and then the rest of it I'm going to bring home, because, it's been in Cat's garage for about 6 months. So that's that. So I've got all that to do before Christmas. And I think he's coming for Christmas, which will be lovely because I've not seen him for. Oh, when I went to Scotland in end of May. Yes, when I nipped up to Scotland for a quick journey with my friend Deb. So, yes, so that's that. Now, the other thing is, this might be a bit of interesting information for our American friends. The village that I live in, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, has a school that's sort of no longer a school. It was like what we call a primary school, like a little children's school. Beautiful building, and it closed down some years ago. But what they've done is it's been donated to the village. The building itself has been donated to the village, and it's got a lottery fund to do it up again. I'll post some pictures. They're not great pictures, but it's beautiful what they've done with it, and they've made it into a hub for our village and all the villages and farms and things that are around where I live. Because as you know from views you've seen before, I live in the middle of the Welsh hillside, which is beautiful, and I'm very happy here so far. And so they had an opening last Saturday, I think it was. So I've obviously been part of the village. I want to be more part of the village. Well, let me have a sip of this a sec. I went along to the opening, and like I said, it's beautiful inside, and I met some lovely people. I mean, a lot of the people in the village are older than me, and I met, and some of them are younger. Obviously, there's families here and everything, but most of them are generationally around my age, or a little bit older. And I fell in love with this wonderful old guy. I think he's about 90, and his name's Ivor. And oh, I just fell in love with him, and he had the deepest Welsh voice. I mean, it was beautiful. He even burst into song as well, which was great. And he tapped me on my shoulder, and he just sort of like he sort of went like, who are you then? In his Welsh accent, because obviously we'd never met before. And he's been, he's lived in this village all his life. Or well, he lives in one of the farms around the village, but he knows the village very well. And I told him who I was and everything, and he was a sweetheart. He really was. And then there was another older man who's 86. His name's David, and I met him about a month or so ago. I was walking up to the village shop, and he was going on his daily walk, to keep himself mobile. And we stopped and we chatted. And I hadn't seen him from that day until the opening. And he came up to me and said, "Hello, Perry, it's lovely to see you again." And I thought, he remembered my name. I thought that was so sweet. And then I met a lot of other people. I ended up actually chatting to my neighbour, Harry, because we walked up together. And a couple of other people chatted. And in that conversation, I met one of the trustees who they're trying to get people to obviously use the place, because you can use it for weddings, you can use it for party events, you can use it for business meetings, for workshops like I do. And I met Pat, and I said to her, told her what I did, and she said definitely. So, but the other thing they're going to do as well, they're going to have Welsh lessons, and I'm definitely going to go along for that, because all I can say is bore da, which is good morning, and I think I've mentioned it before, diolch yn fawr, which means it's a polite way of saying thank you. So that's it. Oh, I did learn another word, panad, because someone said, you're going to come for a panad or something, and it means cuppa, like come for a cuppa, like a cup of tea, basically. So yes, so that was that. Now getting back to why I said our Americans friend might be interested in this. Yale University, the building was owned by the Yale family. Yes, my American friends, the one and the same, Yale University. I mean, I'm obviously at some point years and years and years and years ago, whoever set up Yale University came from this village, went to America, set up the university. And apparently there is a Martin Yale, and there's a woman, and I can't remember what they said her name was. And when the generations are obviously going, and it comes down to Martin and this other lady, they decided to donate that building to the village, which was a wonderful gesture, because this is where the family come from. And one of the villagers I spoke to, I mean, she was only sort of in her late 50s. She said in recent years, Martin's been here, Martin Yell, and she's met him. So I thought that was wonderful. So the people of Yale University in the USA came from here, little village in Wales. Well, that's what I've been told. I hope it's true. I should have researched it first, shouldn't I? But I'm sure, I don't think it's folklore. I'm sure it's true. And yeah, so the Yale family donated the building to the village, which is wonderful. So I'm going to go up. Now, out of that came, because it was before our Remembrance Sunday that we have every year, Poppy Day, overseas, I think you know what I mean, to remember the fallen from all the wars that we have, sadly. And they said, well, because there's a little cenotaph here where they lay the poppies and everything. And I said, yes, I would go on the Sunday. So I walk up and we have the little service, and they all sang. They did it both in Welsh and English. So they said a few hymns in Welsh and they said a couple in English. And then, I mean, I've got to be honest, I didn't open my mouth because I don't, yeah. Anyway, we all have our different things that we follow, and religion for me is not one of them. But I appreciate it and I understand why people, get it. So then they started singing the Welsh national anthem, which I don't know the words, obviously, because it's all in Welsh, but I love the tune and I know the tune very well. So I'm humming the tune, and everyone's singing in Welsh. And of course, it was beautiful, you can imagine. So that sort of set me up for the day, really. And then they said that they were all going back. Some of them were going to the church. And I said, "Oh, is it a service?" Because I didn't want to go. And they said, "Oh, no, we're just going back for a cup of coffee to carry on the chatting and everything." So I went down to the church, and it's funny really because it did make me giggle because they were pouring alcohol in a church. I thought, yeah, but they do the wine and everything, so hey ho. So there was a lovely lady there, a big group of us, and there was a bottle of Baileys they had, I think, and a bottle of sherry and a bottle of wine, nothing really heavy. And we all had our little paper cups and we were drinking. And I got chatting to this lady called Nia, and we chatted and chatted for about 2 hours, I think it was. Well, during this 2 hours, that bottle of Baileys must have been served between just me and Nia, because like I say, the paper cups were about that big, and each time they filled it, they probably filled it halfway. And if anybody knows the drink, well, I know they'd know it in the UK. I'm not quite sure about it in the States, but it's like a coffee liqueur, for want of a better word. Oh, and it's so lovely, and drinking it and drinking it and drinking it. And then it's time for us to go, and I've still got half a cup left. And I'm thinking, well, I'm not, by this time, I'm a little bit squiffy because I don't drink, I really don't drink anymore. And so I made a joke, that I'm walking home now like the village lush with a little cup with this Baileys in. So I get up and I say my goodbyes to everyone, and I'm walking down through the village all on my own. There isn't a soul around, and I'm giggling my head off to myself. I'm drinking this Baileys and singing down through the village. And of course, as a newcomer, I thought to myself, oh, I bet if anyone's looking out of their windows, they're thinking, oh, right. So is this the real Perry then? Is she a bit of a lush walking through the village with a cup of alcohol in her hand? But no, but it was lovely because I met some really nice people and I felt more sort of embraced by the village, if you like, which was really nice. And they all seemed such lovely people. And this centre also has a cafe with a proper sort of restaurant kitchen fitted. I mean, it's only small, but it's all restaurant quality, is what a chef would use, because they do want to hold functions and they want to hold weddings, and they're going to do sort of certain food nights that we can all go to and bring professional chefs in to do it. So yes, I am looking forward to that. And the cafe, I think, opens on Thursday. Oh, do excuse me. It opens on Thursday, and I'm going to go along, and I'm going to go once a week because, as a member of this village, I want to support it because it costs X amount of thousands to run every year, and it's such a beautiful building, and I just think it's brilliant that they've done that, and they have this opportunity to have this hub, and yeah, so here's to our little. It's called Canol Fan Ial. I know canol means centre, so but I don't know what the rest of the word means. Canol fan Ial. Yes, I've learned that as well, but I don't know what it means. So that's what I've been doing. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? I don't think so. I think that's about it. As soon as I finish this, I will start weaving. Um, Let me have a think a minute, and I'll be back to you.
Well, I've had a think, And there isn't a great deal more that I can say. However, when I was having a think, a notification popped up on my phone, and it was a message from one of my subscribers in Australia. Because I do have quite a few, so I've got Australia, New Zealand, Canada. There was a lady from, these are people that comment. I've got obviously a lot more than, probably from all over different places. I see some of the names when I look through the list of subscribers, but the ones that comment are generally from Australia, New Zealand, Canada, of course, our friends in Canada. And there was a lady that used to always, I sort of miss her really, because she's from Italy. And she always used to comment in Italian. Now, I don't speak Italian. I can understand a couple of words if I read it, but I can't speak it. So I would copy and paste what she'd written, put it into Translate, and then I would put my answer in English, put it into Translate, copy and paste it and put it up. And I sort of miss that, so I hope, if she's watching, I hope she's okay, because it was lovely to get those little messages. So ciao to the lady from Italy. But yeah, so someone messaged me from Australia and asked me to make them a scarf for Christmas. So that's I better crack on to that, because obviously the posting for Australia is going to take quite a time and I want them to get it. So yeah, so it's nice that I get people from all over the world. Is there any No, there's no obscure. A couple of you from Europe, not many from Europe, to be perfectly honest, and obviously a lot from the UK. I mean, the majority are from the UK, but it's nice that I get people subscribing and commenting from overseas. So thank you. And going on from that, one of the things I wanted to say was, when I do this fair, this 2-day artisan fair on the 6th and 7th of December, I'd forgotten about this, I've just remembered, I'm not hoping that I have some stuff left over, because the idea is to sell it all. But while I was up at the open day at our little centre here, there was another one of the trustees told me that apparently in the church on the 12th of December every year they do this. They've got a little Christmas fair of their own, and would I go along? So I won't have time really I might have time to make a couple of bits and pieces, but I won't have time to make candles and set them, and won't have time to make an awful lot of woven stuff, because it takes me a few days to make one piece. So I'm just hoping, whilst I'd like to sell everything, I'm hoping I'll have a couple of pieces left so I can also do that fair. So that's about it. The one thing I will ask, and sometimes I don't like to ask for people to subscribe or follow or hit the notification bell, because I just think it might get a bit boring if I ask every time. But I think I'm on about 3,800 something followers. It has dropped off a little bit, but that is not necessarily that people drop out. Of course they do. I drop out. I follow someone for a while, and then I'm sort of thinking, well, I've learned everything from that person, so I'll go on to somebody else. But the algorithms as well out in the ether, if there's a channel that subscribes that's not maybe a real channel, or it's a bit of a dead channel, the algorithms will drop it automatically, apparently. So I think I'm on about 3,800, and as I said, it had gone down a little bit, but I would like to get to 5,000. I think that would be a nice round number. So maybe if you could share, or if you do watch and don't subscribe, maybe you could subscribe. You don't have to hit your notifications bell, because you don't want that pinging every time I pop up to you. So, having said that, cheers guys, have a lovely rest of your day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye! And don't forget, as always, there's a little montage at the end of this where there's my journey to Pwllheli, some pictures of the Welsh chapel that I told you about, and the Horseshoe Pass in autumn. Now, I have shown you the Horseshoe Pass before, but that was in the summer when it was all lush and green, and now it's sort of autumn and there's lots of lovely colours around, as you know. So I hope you enjoy. Bye.
This montage is over 12 minutes long, and that may be 12 minutes that you won't get back, so it's up to you. But this is my journey towards Pwllheli to go and see the chapel. this section on my left-hand side was a llyn. A llyn is the Welsh word, I suppose, for what you would know as a loch in Scotland. So in Scotland it's loch, and in Wales it's llyn. It was huge. It went on for miles. So that whiteness that you can see on the left-hand side is water, but because of the weather you can't really see. But look at the colours of these trees. It was a beautiful journey. And here we are. This is the front of Salem Chapel that is owned by Keith Brymer-Jones and his partner Marge. It's absolutely huge. So this part of the chapel, like I said, is being renovated at the moment. You went up the side street and you can't really see where they live, but it's tucked away in a little bit and it's right at the end of that building. It was just incredible, and you can see what they've done to their home was absolutely beautiful. This was the sign that they'd put up. They put it up in English and below it was in Welsh. And I don't blame them. It is their home and people have to be respectful. Now this part of the Montage you have seen before, but in the summer when everything was lush and green. It's the horseshoe pass that leads from Llangollen to my village where I live. And I just wanted you to see the colours. So we've still got an awful lot of green fields, as you can see, but it's surrounded by these lovely colours in the trees. And again, my camera hasn't really picked it up. A couple of weeks ago it was more vibrant. I should have recorded it then. But I'll leave you to enjoy the journey with a little bit of music, and I'll pop back in and have a chat with you in a sec. Now I pulled in here so that I could film this part of the Horseshoe Pass. And if you look in a minute, you will see a white van. Can you see it there in the distance? That's the road I've just come up. So like the name, it literally comes up and up and up and climbs to the top. And it's in the shape of a horseshoe, hence the name Horseshoe Pass. Now I'm coming to the end of the Horseshoe Pass itself. I think that's at the highest point, and then it starts to descend. And it's really interesting, you'll see the colours change again for a brief moment, like we're in a different season, because as we go down and round the hill, you'll see it's just green everywhere. You wouldn't know it was autumn just for a brief moment. See what I mean? It's so green, look at it. With the weather being so beautiful, one of those autumnal sunny days, and it was warm when you stepped outside, you would think you were in the middle of the spring or the early summer, but it does, as the road goes along, it does then go back into autumnal colours. Well, I just thought that was quite interesting. And that's this journey over, and through the sunshine at the end of the road is my cottage. This is a quick run through of the village community hub. So that's the view, and there's a sort of patio area outside for coffees. That was the old church, I think, and was converted into a home. This beautiful outside space, it's really lovely. There's a playground for children. This is part of the cafe, the entrance door in. And then I take you into the rooms. There's toilets and everything there. But it is all brand new. I mean, it's lovely for the village. So this room is, you can close it down into two separate rooms with two separate entrances. But at the moment, it's just one room. And a local villager has taken a lot of the photographs that are on the wall and sort of donated them to the hall. There's the sliding doors there, soundproof doors. And then I think we go into the kitchen area. I mean, it is only a small kitchen, but like I said, the equipment in the kitchen is of restaurant standard, and it's all been, you know, bought in obviously with the money from the National Lottery. That's what's funded it. I mean, as I said, the building was donated by the Yale family, but everything that's been done, all the cost to sort of revamp it and rebuild it is been donated by our National Lottery scheme. There's all parking there and everything. I mean, it is lovely. This is the village. And there we go. Canol Lan. And like I said, Canol Cafe, that says cafe, like coffee, I suppose. Cafe Lal. So yeah, there we go. Okay guys, until next time, I hope you've enjoyed it. Take care and I'll see you soon.